Good evening. Here is the World News at 5. First, the top stories. World Bank set to begin construction of 51 rural roads in Ogun State. Buhari launches economic growth plan, says Nigeria must produce its needs. 3,000 Civil Defense Corps personnel to be deployed to protect farms from attacks. IMF says the Naira is overvalued by 20%. In foreign, Russia considers banning Jehovah's Witnesses classified as terror organization, and Trump considers U.S. retaliation over a chemical weapons attack in Syria. I am Ololade Sanyaolu, bringing you the news in detail shortly. And now the news in detail. The World Bank is ready to embark on the construction of 51 rural roads in the 18 of Ogun State 20 local government areas, excluded from the 500-kilometer road project are the Abeokuta South local government and the Ijebu-Ode local government areas. A World Bank consultant, Dr. Emmanuel Adeyemo, unveiled the program in Abeokuta at the stakeholders meeting on construction and rehabilitation of rural roads under the federal government and World Bank Rural Road Rehabilitation Project. He says that more rural roads in the state will be considered in the second phase of the Rural Access Mobility Project. On its part, Governor Ibikunle Amosun says the state government will immediately begin the construction of 114 rural roads in the 20 local government and 37 local council development areas in the state. Also, 9 tractors, according to the governor, will be handed over to the chairman of local government and the state 9 federal constituencies for the grading of rural roads in the areas. Victory Life Bible Church Convention 2017 is ongoing in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital. The convention, which began on Sunday, April 2, will end on Sunday, April 9. The convention, whose theme is Doing Wonders, the God Factor, is holding daily between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. at the church auditorium opposite OGTV at Jewo Road, Abeokuta. The LBC General Overseer, Apostle Lawrence Achudume, in a release says the Power Pact program will feature administration from Bishop Mike Okonkwo, Reverend Felix Omobude, Dr. Kunle Adeshino, Reverend Sam Adeyemi, Bishop Jide Orire, Tom Sampson, Jerome Obode, and other anointed men of God. The week-long event, according to Reverend Achudume, include a special anniversary lecture on Saturday, April 8, to be delivered by former President Olusegun Obasanjo. The theme of the lecture is The Role of the Church and the Fight Against Corruption in Nigeria. Members of the public are invited to the convention, and those seeking further inquiries about the program are asked to call Kingsley on 0803 343 2543 or Glory on 0909 724 4819. Also, the Divine Heights Bible Church, Kotokpo, Abeokuta, will hold a 3-day marriage summit as from Friday, April 7 till Sunday, April 9 in the Ogun State capital. The program, whose theme is A Blissful Home, will hold daily at the church auditorium along the Abeokuta-Ibadan Road, Kotokpo, after Elewero. The program kicks off on Friday, April 7, with a single forum whose theme is Firm Foundation for a Blissful Marriage at 5 p.m., followed by Destiny Empowerment Monthly Program from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. The summit will continue on Saturday, April 8 at 10 a.m. The program will be rounded off on Sunday, April 9 from 8 a.m. Ministering at the program are Pastor Gabriel Abiola and Reverend Mike Babatunde, while the host pastor is Professor Olushola Oyewole. President Muhammadu Buhari has launched the Nigeria Economic Recovery and Growth Plan to reposition the economy from recession to sustainable path. Launching the economic growth blueprint at the presidential villa Abuja, Buhari says the plan is an ambitious program seeking to achieve a 7% economic growth by the year 2020. Buhari, who insists that Nigeria must produce what it needs, asks the state governors to draw inspiration from the plan, articulate theirs, and grow the economy. Budget and National Planning Minister Senator Udoma Udoma says that a unit has been set up in the presidency to monitor the implementation of the plan. In attendance at the ceremony were the Senate President Bukola Saraki, the Speaker of the House of Representatives Yakubu Dogara, Chairman of the Nigerian Governors Forum Abdulaziz Yari, and other top government officials. Thousands of health workers have embarked on massive vaccination exercise to stop the spread of meningitis, which has killed more than 300 people. An official of the National Center for Disease Control, Lawal Bakri, says the vaccinators are in the field in Zamfara State, where more than 200 people were killed by the disease. He explains that 500,000 doses of the vaccine were being administered in the exercise, adding that about 3 million vaccines are needed in Zamfara State alone. The disease is transmitted from between people through coughs and sneezes, aided by cramped living conditions and close contact. The Senate is reworking some of the bills that President Muhammadu Buhari refused to give his assent to for one reason or the other. The affected bills are the National Planning Budget and Research Office Bill 2017, Forestry Research Institute of Nigerian Bill 2017, Dangerous Drug Act Amendment Bill 2017, and Currency Conversion Freezing Order Act 2017. The Senate Majority Leader Ahmed Lawan, who reopened the bill, says President withheld his assent due to some phrases and words in the bills which are in conflict with the Presidential Act. With the Principal Act, the Senate committed the four bills to the conference committee that worked on them to consider the perceived inadequacies in the bills that Buhari objected to. Joint Admission Matriculation Board (JAMB) says about 800,000 candidates seeking to write the 2017 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination have so far been registered for the examination. Criticism had been trailing the registration exercise, which began last March 20 and scheduled to end April 19, for being slow. But the board spokesman, Dr. Fabian Benjamin, addressing newsmen in Abuja, says the introduction of remote mode of registration has eased the process of registering the examination document. The examination, expected to be written by about 1.6 million candidates, will begin on May 6. About 3,000 personnel of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps (NSCDC) are being drafted by the presidency to protect farms and agro-allied investment nationwide against attacks by herdsmen and gunmen. The 3,000 NSCDC personnel to be named agro rangers are to be specially trained to protect the farms and mediate in conflict between farmers and those attacking them. Interior Minister Abdulrahman Dambazal, who made this known to newsmen in Abuja, says the planned deployment is because the police are being overstretched in maintaining law and order. The military, according to him, is also involved in battling insurgents. You are still listening to the World News at 5 on Rock City 101.9 FM. Up next, we bring you foreign, business, and sport news. Please stay with us. Russia's Supreme Court has begun hearing a government request to outlaw the Jehovah's Witnesses and declare it an extremist organization. The Justice Ministry has already placed its headquarters near St. Petersburg on a list of extremist groups. An estimated 8 million people worldwide are part of the Christian-based movement best known for door-to-door looking for new converts. It has 175,000 members in Russia and 395 branches across the country. The group was found in the US in the late 19th century, and during Joseph Stalin's reign of terror in the Soviet Union, it was outlawed and thousands of members were deported to Siberia. Other Christian groups were also persecuted. President Donald Trump has expressed outrage at the apparent chemical weapons attacks in Syria. He suggested that retaliatory action is being considered against Syrian President Bashar al-Assad, either by a multinational response or by the US alone. At a joint Rose Garden news conference alongside visiting Jordanian King Abdullah II, Trump did not rule out the use of retaliatory force, warning that the use of chemical weapons against civilians had crossed beyond a red line for him. Trump laid some of the blame for the chaos in Syria at the feet of his predecessor, Barack Obama, who threatened military action in response to a 2013 chemical attack in Syria but did not follow through. The Jordanian monarch also condemned the attack, calling it another testament to the failure of the international diplomacy to find solutions to the crisis in Syria. And moving to business, International Monetary Fund (IMF) has expressed concern at the foreign exchange regime put in place by the Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN) to halt the sharp drop in the exchange rate of the naira. Head of the fund's mission in Nigeria, Jean Leon, says the naira is still overvalued by 10 to 20%. The fund, in its staff report released recently, had called for a single foreign exchange rate to promote transparency in the management of the foreign exchange market. CBN in the past 6 weeks had injected more than $2 billion into the foreign exchange market to reduce the widening gap between the official exchange rate and one in the parallel market. Being targeted in a massive injection of foreign exchange by CBN are bank customers seeking to purchase foreign exchange for personal travel allowance, business travel allowance, tuition fee, and medical bills. In sports, Play United of Abeokuta have recorded their third win after beating hard-fighting Ikorodu United 2-1 at the ongoing second-tier Nigerian National League match played at the Dipo Dino International Stadium in Ijebu-Ode. Uche John grabbed opening goal from the penalty spot to give the home team the lead in the 36th minute before Jude Aneke equalized for the visiting Ikorodu United in the 58th minute. The Gateway regained their lead through Peter Emmanuel's goal in the 65th minute for the maximum 3 points in the match. Gateway now have 11 points from the possible 16 points in, winning 3 matches and drawing 2. That is the world news at 5, and just before we go, the major stories once again. World Bank set to begin construction of 51 rural roads in Ogun State. Buhari launches economic growth plan, says Nigeria must produce its needs. 3,000 civil defense corps personnel to be deployed to protect farms from attacks. IMF says the naira is overvalued by 20%. On the foreign scene, we told you that Russia considered banning Jehovah's Witnesses classified as terror organization, and Trump considered U.S. retaliation over chemical weapons attack in Syria. For more stories and to listen to us live, please log on to our website www.rockcityfmradio.com/live. Thank you very much for listening. I am Ololade Sanyaolu. Good evening.